Alright, here's the Codep hugger that I got on Saturday with Brandon C. Johnson. When we went to that house on a local Craigslist finding that had a few fans. There was two Hunter Infinitis and two Codep huggers. The Codep huggers were different. This is the one of them, and the other one was in the other video that I showed. When we were actually at the house taking the fans down, one of them was already taken down for us. So I already had removed this fan, and the other fan was still installed. The other Codep hugger, which was an antique brass, and had 4 lights in it. So yeah, I like this one a lot more because it looks. I just like seeing these fans in polished brass. You don't really. They're mostly in antique brass. These generic huggers. So seeing it in polished brass with 4 stencil blades really struck home for me because there were fans just like this one when I was a kid, and I haven't seen them since. Mostly the antique brass ones, but the polished brass ones were I haven't really seen that much since then. And what I liked about this fan is it came with this little Codep pull chain, which I have never seen before, so I found that to be quite interesting. Alright, put it down. Yeah. I just don't have it on it because I had the pull chain taped onto the motor switch housing. And this fan is from December of 1986. The other one was from March or something like that. The other one was a little bit older. They were both from 1986, but one of them was made or manufactured a little bit before. No, I don't know the model name of this fan. All I know is it's made from Codep, this motor housing. At first I was like, oh, it's from Codep. It could have been just like an addition, like a replacement pull chain. But when I took down the fan, I saw that on the top of the motor that it had a Codep logo on it. So yeah, this fan it's not as powerful as low profile, obviously, but it does move some air. And it has 4 stencil blades, which I really like about this fan. The other one had stencil blades too. It doesn't have a little vent thingy to like a little thing that it didn't come with that, neither of them. And the motor is a bit scratched up. Same with the other one. The other one was actually in worse. Had more paint chippings on the motor. But that's alright. It is a nice fan, so that's why I like it a lot. Alright, let me go ahead and start off on low. I am glad to finally have a generic hugger that goes in my fan closet. I was gonna put a Dynasty fan in there, but since it already had a box for it, I just put it back in its box since I could just put another generic hugger in the closet whenever I found one. And now that I found this one, now it's the generic fan that I have in my closet. But yeah, these are I've always liked the look of these fans. This type of generic hugger, just like polished brass with 4 blades and a little bit more of a fatter switch housing, but not as big. Like it's more thin. Like it's fatter than the Dynasty one, but it's lower. And there was a camper that I went to that had switch housing just like that one, and the only difference was it was just like this fan, except it wasn't a hugger ceiling fan. It was a regular G vent fan like this one, and it had a downrod on it. So yeah, this one really reminds me of it. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that fan could have made by Codep, to be honest. That's a nice low speed to it. I do feel some air from it over here, so that's a good sign. Alright, now let me move it up to medium. There's medium. It does have a pretty small motor, actually, but for its size, it is moving pretty good amount of air. Has a bit of a wobble to it. It has a pretty fast medium speed, to be honest. I've actually never seen a fan. I don't think I've seen a fan that has this type of medium speed that would go this fast, to be honest. Now it's starting to slow down a bit. That's weird. But yeah, I do feel a good breeze from over here on medium, so that's a good sign. Definitely the Dynasty is a bit stronger than this on medium. Well, no, actually, this is actually pretty good too. I'm not sure, but the Dynasty is definitely a good fan. I just like these generic colors. They're common, but they they're like one of the biggest childhood fans that I remember as a kid. Just like the Bahama fan in my grandmother's kitchen, they're very similar to this. And they're not the most impressive fans, but they're just like they're a huge part of my childhood regards in ceiling fans. Especially getting this one for free was pretty awesome. Alright, let me move it up to high. This fan does move a pretty good amount of air on high. Actually, it moves a very good amount of air, to be honest. Although it's a four-bladed hugger, the Dynasty definitely does move a bit more air than this. But this fan does move good air regardless. I feel like it's mostly because this fan has a smaller motor, and even though it's a four-bladed fan, four-bladed fans usually move more air than five-bladed fans, since there's less space in between the five-bladed fans, so the four-bladed fans have more of a chance to gather more air. But yeah, I do feel a good breeze from this fan. It's actually quite impressive, especially with the motor side. It's actually pretty good. Actually, when I first tested it, and like when I saw it, I could tell that it had a pretty small motor, just looking through the motor housing. But when I turned it on, I was really impressed, like with how fast it went. The Dynasty definitely does go more faster than this too. So yeah, the Dynasty definitely is more powerful than this, but this is a pretty powerful fan regardless. Moves good air for a hugger, definitely. It's definitely a pretty powerful fan. Not as powerful as the Dynasty, but close enough. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty good air mover for a hugger. Just trying to find where I can get the best air movement sound. Get a view of it from up here. I'm not sure if I got a lot of air movement, the sound of the air movement on the camera, but it does move a pretty good amount of air. Alright, let me shut it off and do a spin down. I'm probably gonna show it with a schoolhouse light on it later on, not today, but some other time I'll pull it out again and show it with schoolhouse light since I had the polished brass light fitter from the that I bought for the Casablanca Delta 2. Definitely gonna test this with that one of these days. And I'm not gonna really show it with the oak side. I'm just gonna show it like this because the Stencil is basically it's really not gonna make that much of a difference. As if it had cane blades, I would show the other side, just the oak side, but it's basically the same thing to me. So there's just a little bit of designs, and when it's running, you can't even tell if it has stencil or not. So it's really no point, in my opinion. But yeah, if you want me to, I will, but I'm not planning to, so I'll do it sometime in the future. But yeah, it's come to a complete stop. That's an awkward angle for me. I don't know. I just like it. Yeah, that's a better angle for me. Alright, so that is a complete stop now. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.